Hello, happy Friday. I think it's Friday. Yeah, happy Friday. All right, so today I'm going back to the large lion painting where I was painting over the still life painting that became an abstract painting that is turning into a lion painting. So yesterday I did the outline and I put in the eyes and the nose and the features and the ears, and then I decided to work on the small painting so I could get a feeling for what to do with the large one. So this was yesterday, and if you're watching me, it took me a long time because I had a lot of trouble with the planes of the nose, because there's something about the way lions are made and the incline of the nose and how the planes change. So anyway, this was what transpired yesterday. And I think Facebook even kicked me off at the end. I don't know if my Wi-Fi connection went bad or what, but something like that happened. I'm gonna have to move this painting over here where I can still see it. Oh, actually up here. All right. So I'm going to refer to that. I'm also going to refer to these photos that I paid for. I'm not illegally using anyone's images. Those are ones that I paid for. So I'm just going to put these up on the wall. You won't be able to see these in your view. I'll be able to see them in my view. And again, I'm going for fierce, loving but fierce, because the inspiration for this is Jesus, who's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So he's fierce, but he's also a wise ruler and king. So trying to get that out of these images and into my painting. All right, I hope you guys have a good view. It won't be easy for you to see my palette. You're just going to have to watch the paint application to see what's going on. And I'm going to shimmy this over a little bit. To help you out. Help you see more better without the post in the way. All right. Okay. So, back to the painting session. Decided to wear gloves today to possibly keep my hands a little tidier. Let's see if it works. All right, I used up all my blues. I used so much color yesterday. I used up all my color yesterday. Okay, so I've got on my palette, I'm adding quinacridone pink. I need a whole lot more white. I used a lot of white yesterday. I still have magenta, but I'll put a little bit more. How is everybody? I hope you have, it's been a great week. I hope it's been a great day, and I hope you have a great weekend. I know that there are a lot of people undergoing a lot of stressful situations now, and I pray for you, and I encourage you all to have peace in your situations and find joy in whatever you can. And I say this out of love and respect for you, because I have lived through situations that were very, very distressing, and God delivered me out of them, and it was a challenge, but finding peace and maintaining peace in those situations and finding joy at the point that it can be found was very helpful. So I say that out of love and kindness. All right, I just put on, let's see, more magenta, quinacridone pink. I put on cadmium red light. I'm refurbishing my cadmium red medium. Cadmium yellow orange. I need some cadmium yellow light. Also, one of my goals is, so I'm gonna have to decide what I'm gonna leave of the face, you know, like of the existing painting. Do I want to bring certain things out, and do I want to, you know, get rid of things, edit out things, bring some other things in. So that's my challenge today. And I wasn't sure how I was going to approach that yesterday because I already liked too much of it. So that was why I did that whole new little painting, the 8x8 inch of the lion, so I could figure that out. And it was a much harder problem that I made for myself. And eventually it worked out. So we'll see if I can take what I learned there and translate that onto this with boldness and freedom. That's the other thing, is that one of the reasons I struggled is because I was having a hard time letting go and being free, and I was too bound up by getting the representation accurate. So that became a stumbling block, which I had to repent of and let go of. So hopefully that is gone. All right, so let's see, what else did I put on here? I put cerulean blue, because I really liked on the small study from yesterday the aqua tones. Some of those yesterday I mixed with Sever's blue, which is a really as close to a fluorescent blue probably you can get, and I also used the yellow turquoise yesterday too. But I want to move forward in this one. I like a lot of the blues that are already happening here, and the relationship of the warm to cools, and I want the mane of the lion to be kind of wild, because after all, lions are wild animals, no matter what. So let's see, I added more yellow turquoise, and I did French ultramarine. Oh, I need cobalt blue, and what do I need? Cobalt blue and Prussian blue. I don't know if I want to use Payne's gray. Probably not. Yeah, Prussian blue. And I didn't find the cobalt yet. Actually, I'm going to use this French ultramarine by Sennelier Rive Gauche. It doesn't turn out like a French ultramarine. It turns out more like a cobalt. So I'm actually going to use that. All right, off and running. I did a thin layer of liquid yesterday before I started. I'm going to do another one now. And the reason for that is so that my paint will dry faster when I apply it. And the other reason is because these 12 individual boards have a lot of tooth to them. They're very grainy, even with all the paint that I have had on in earlier layers. So I would really enjoy the new paint going on smoother. So therefore, that's what I'm doing. I just want a really smooth, thin coat. Thin. It has another benefit of using it, that it tends to let the paint dry with having a little bit of a gloss to it, which is really nice because these boards have a very dusty finish, and but I like my color to be juicy, so. Because the color turns out to be more intense. Okay, so there you go. That's my policy on that. Alrighty. Thank you, Jesus. Here we go. I went through a lot of paper towels yesterday. A lot of paint. Okay, so I think the first thing I want to do is play with the eyes a little bit and get those having the character that I want, because a lot can happen if I have the eyes right, if I have, you know, I mean, well, the eyes are really important to the face, but yes, eyes, nose, and mouth are all really important, but the eyes are the most important because you really convey the emotion and the mood through the eyes. And if I draw, like right now the eyes look really open and just kind of like inquisitive or looking for information, but you know, if I change the angles at all, they can become angrier, they can become happier, you know, I can change the emotion depending on how I handle the eyes. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I need some brushes, and actually I have to get my other brush. Hard to believe, but in this tiny space that I'm working in, there's a lot of stuff, including 3 studio lamps, my portable easel, and a side table holding my computer. There's a lot of stuff in this whole region, so I don't have as much ability to move around. Okay. Alrighty. I need my glasses. Reading glasses. I'm going to use cadmium yellow light. Oops, I didn't refresh the white. Can't get real far without that. Okay. There it is. Okay, titanium white. You can paint without white, only you don't get real far. And I found that out the hard way. Twice I went out painting out at different locations, far away from home, found out I didn't take white with me. It was not fun. Nope. Alright, so I've got titanium white and cadmium yellow light, and actually I'm just going to start in the center. So I missed the center of that eye needs to be, the pupil needs to be where I want it, so might as well add that in now. This is Prussian blue, in case you wonder. Okay, going back, and I wanted to put a darker ring around the outside of the eye. So I've got some Sevres blue that has Prussian blue in it. Oh, hey, Steve. Hi, Nora. Hi, Susan. Hi, Janine. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday, friends. Rather than deal with gendered statements, we'll say friends. Because you are my friends. Okay. So what I'm doing is I went from yesterday's painting, which I finally finished last night after having way too many battles over the nose. So that was this one. That was how yesterday's painting wound up. And I'm going back and working on this big one. So my challenge is to be able to have a lot of the qualities that this one has. I wanted to keep some of the existing elements on here, so I have to decide what to keep and what to let go of. Which is a harder dialogue than most. Who knows? It might not be that hard. We'll see. I won't. Okay, yeah. I'll be positive. It's gonna be easy. There's my positive statement. Because we like to be positive. Actually. So in an effort to not get as painty as I have the last week. Gloves. Okay. Okay, so that green wound up being a bit more intense than I had hoped. However, no big deal. We can handle this. So I'm going to use some cadmium yellow orange mixed into the cadmium yellow light titanium white mix that I used for the inner circle around the pupil. And I'm going to go back. And apparently, I just squeezed it out of the tube, but it's really sticky. Oh boy. I gotta loosen it up a bit with a little bit of solvent, but I don't want too much. I do use this paint. I don't know, it just gets, sometimes it gets sticky. Alright, so I'm just going through to, build depth. Because that green was a bit flat. Probably because it was Sevres blue. Sevres blue is, can be dense. And I did Prussian blue in the, as for the pupils, but that looks a bit intense too. So I'm just taking some of the Sevres blue mix that I did that turned into a green and just kind of softening those. Actually, that was not a generous enough application, therefore it did not do that much. It did a little bit, but I wanted to have more. So there, I just kind of took that down. Then I'll go back with the Prussian. That's just Prussian blue. And I like how in the small painting I did yesterday that there was depth in the eyes. So come back. This one looks like I painted it larger. That can be corrected. So I hope you have found something today to bring you joy. I hope that we've been able to have some kind of joy today. Joy is so important. This is just with this Kemper wipeout tool. I'm just going around the outside to make it smaller, basically. Reduce the size of the circle of the eye. And I'm going to go back with Prussian blue. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of cadmium red medium, which changes it into, I guess, like a deep violet-ish color. It's a little bit browner than violet would be. As many times as I painted this face yesterday on the small painting, you would think that I would totally, actually this goes this way, I remember a little bit. It's coming back to me. Hopefully after I finish this painting, I will be able to paint a lion in my sleep. Hopefully. It comes down that way, and so I realized as I painted this that line comes in these there, more like that, and the eyes are still a little bit flat, so let's see what I can do about that. It's a good question. I'm going to take some cerulean blue. I'm not trying to copy yesterday's painting, but yesterday's painting was a study, so I get to look at that and remember what I learned. It's kind of a nice thing. So I'm going to go back yet again into the, with some more cadmium yellow light into the eye here. That's better. I might not work on these too much more at this point and then come back later, so I don't overwork a section and then wind up not, having a section that's unbalanced. anybody have any questions, you're welcome to. Any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat box. I don't mind if you do your paperwork while I'm on. I don't mind at all. It's, you know, I'm here to encourage people, and if it's therapeutic just to listen to me rant, that's totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm going back to the lid a little bit. It took me a while yesterday to get used to how the eyes are shaped. They're quite beautiful. It's really amazing. Nature is amazing. Nature is amazing. God is amazing. What he makes is amazing. So true. Let's see. That was Cobalt Blue plus Magenta, but it was so dark and it just kind of blended into the color that was already there. So I added some titanium white to lighten it. This one was okay, but I'm just lightening a little bit. And I'm also have a goal to be more adventurous in my color in this one than I was in yesterday's painting. So let's see if I achieve that too. And that was, I'm going to take that almost cobalt blue back over there. Okay, now what? And like I said, it's important for me to really get the eyes right, because yesterday I realized how important the eyes were. So it's worth me figuring it out. Okay, the nose yesterday was a challenge. It did get better. I'm gonna take this cobalt blue. Noses are really interesting. Noses are so interesting. I don't like, how do you even make a nose? Noses. There's just so many mysteries. So I have cobalt blue plus magenta plus some titanium white. I'm going to attempt to go in and carve out some of this nose. But I like some of this, the yellow. I'm going to leave some of it. I don't mind him being semi-abstracted. There's my other long brush. I need to go to Michael's and get some more brushes, because I have these favorite brushes. And I have two of them in the same size and shape. And one wandered away. It's here because I had it. I just really like that brush. Isn't it funny how you can lose things that you just had? But okay. So I'm mixing up titanium white plus cadmium red light, and the white cools off the red a lot. It went from much brighter to this, but I wanted to bring this curve in of the nostril, and there's a curve also on this side. actually really like that color. So, especially because I've got a bunch of tones like that there. And so it's interesting how the eye is built. I guess that the, you know, like muscle wraps over here and it wraps over here, and that's where you get like these accent marks above the eyes. And then around the, here around the eyes, there are these under markings. It's very interesting. I would like to find my other brush. Look around. It is here somewhere. Oh, very strange. Oh, here it is. Okay, gotcha. Why don't I grab some more while I'm at it? All right. So, working on the chin, I'm going to go down. And actually, okay, well, I can work on the chin, and then I want to work on the mane. I guess there's not a real hurry to working on the mane. Doesn't matter. Priority-wise, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to put some cerulean blue plus some titanium white. And I'm okay with, you know, using the brush dryer to get these, you know, bristle marks, because in the photo there's a lot of hair sticking out down here on the lion's chin. Oh, how interesting. Okay, so there are 12 blocks and there are 12 tribes of Israel. So that's actually really interesting, why there are 12 blocks. I wasn't quite sure why I did 12 back in the beginning, but I guess that's why. So this is just titanium white. And take that titanium white and actually use some more of that. Here. But I like a lot of these things, so I'm, you know, trying to work into and yet not totally erase everything that could help, you know, add depth. Like I really like these marks here. Probably I don't need this. Probably that doesn't help. But I went from black to white, so let me do a different color. This is Severs blue with lots of white in it. I'm actually going to scrape into that. I'm going to use these color shapers, which this one is actually the version made by Hobby Lobby. It's called Master's Touch. I just kind of wanted to get rid of the dark that was there because that black shape under the nose wasn't necessarily needed. So I kind of wiped through there to reduce that a bit. And I could also use this color shaper to, it's a rubber blade, so I can use it to carve out areas. Or like I was drawing in the ends of the hairs. And I get some more paper towels. So I'm going to use that same tool. Now the Severs blue is a bit intense, so I'm going to take some of the cobalt and do, like, there's a little area here with the lip that kind of isn't as dark as up there. And then I'm going to go back and layer some more titanium white on it as the hairs from the chin, beard go on there. I went back with the French ultramarine because the last color didn't really, did a little bit, it didn't take me as far. I'm going to use a little bit of magenta plus alizarin crimson just to indicate lip. So it's not so blue. I might change that, but that's what I'm feeling like putting on there for now. I'm also going to use that in the nostrils. That's a bit redder than, I don't know. I want to tone that down with the cobalt. Just because it's in shadow. And it doesn't have to all be realistic, because I'm trying not to make him to be so realistic. And it seems as if, actually, it seems as if, very evident to you but not to me, that I drew this line in the wrong place. So you guys have the benefit of being behind me and being able to see things much more objectively. So I would like to take this opportunity now to address this big problem. That's not a big problem. Anyway, so I'm using more titanium white. It's got a little bit of the blue that I just used to kind of restate. Is Linda watching? No. Hi, Roxanne. Linda, who tunes in sometimes, she's a student of mine, friend, that is a veterinarian. She's retired, but she would probably know what the technical term is for this joining section between the cheeks. I'm sure it has a name. Okay, that's better, huh? It's amazing what you can see when you look and what you don't see when you don't look rightly. What you see when you see what you want to see and not what really is. So I'm taking some cadmium yellow, orange plus titanium white. To restate these ridges here. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to move on to the mains so I don't, like I said, overwork any one area. Although I could have done a little bit more in the nose. But I'm going to move on. And probably, oh actually I didn't do much with the ears yesterday. So here we go with the ears. And those also need to be somewhat equal, huh? There's something about symmetry. There's something to this thing called symmetry. I know that color's got to change, but I'm not sure what to do with it yet. But let me do this. I'm going to take some of the violet that I used on the nose. Oops, I need more than that. I'm going to do quinacridone pink plus... Ah, yes, I remember. So this Sennelier Rive Gauche French ultramarine blue that actually looks more like cobalt, it doesn't mix real well with some of the other colors, so that's why I put it aside the other day, like a week and 2 weeks ago. I had forgotten that that's why I did it, because it didn't play nice with everybody else. Didn't mix the way I could expect it to. So quinacridone pink. No, I'm just going to take more of that in there. Because what happens is when I mix that blue I told you about, I don't want to talk bad about anything, but it doesn't mix with the pink really well. It gets very muddy. So let me clean that out of there. If I get rid of it, I don't have to deal with it anymore. Alright, so if I've got titanium white plus cadmium yellow light plus cadmium yellow orange, it's a little bit of cadmium red light. It's going to be really cooled off. I added a lot of light to it. It's not that high a functioning color. Let me go back. Okay, this is now cadmium yellow orange plus cadmium yellow, which is brighter. Those are not super fascinating ears, but I have time. So I'm going to leave that section right now. Actually, I'm going to see if that solid paint marker I used yesterday will function. It tends to get a skin on it like the RNF oil sticks. So you need to kind of either keep it covered or see, it won't draw into the wet paint that easily. But keep it covered. I couldn't find the lid. I gotta find that lid. Keep it covered or wrap it up or something. Or it will dry out and then you'll have to clean off the exo skin. Let's see, let's give him some wild hair. My photos don't really extend. I have another accidental print. Lions have interesting hair. Very interesting hair. And again, I paid for these photos. These are not unpaid for by me. Not stealing anyone's artwork. Not paying anybody for what is worth. Okay. Yeah. Lions have very interesting nostrils. The nostril goes all the way down here. How interesting is that? Alrighty. Alright, mane. Let's have some fun. Alright, I'm gonna mix up some alizarin crimson and magenta. But like I said, I'm pretty happy with some of the things that already go on the board. Like instead of adding a dark blue or a dark color to make a base, I can just work up from that. So, actually I need to look at this for and some of the original painting I can leave. Whatever works into the design, into the composition. Probably would be nice. But up here I'll definitely add more hair. I decided while I was doing that to kind of go around some of these areas and make that part of the mane. So what I'm going to do is take that cerulean blue. I need to clear off some of these past colors. Wiping off the past. With some more paper towels. So, oops. Alright, back to cerulean blue plus some titanium white. And going back around. So like once I go around the outside, I can, effectively go, cut out around the figure. That, I guess I didn't, I caught some golden orange in there. So maybe that was meant to be. I hadn't intended it. And then around here, I wanted to bring up some difference here. I like so many of the things that happen here. There's so much like light and like the lion's mane. So I kind of didn't want to get rid of all those. I wanted to use them to my advantage. Oops. And as much as I like this color, spam call. Nice. Always pleasant. I forgot to shut off my phone ringer. I did it yesterday. I usually always do it, but I forgot. My bad. See, now that I've differentiated, I didn't do that much over here, but I start seeing elements from, here in the mane. So I'm going to actually play this up. I'm going to go back and bring this out a little bit because I like them. Okay, so using some Prussian blue plus some Sevres blue. And adding that into the mane, like making what's there part of the mane, keeping it as part of the mane. Because he's also called the Ancient of Days, so there's a whole lot of stuff that would go on that would be majestic and not necessarily explainable. Actually, I'm going to take that Severs blue plus Prussian blue plus magenta and kind of go the crown around his face for his mane. I'm going to go and bring some of that in there. And I'm going to lighten that up by adding a little bit of titanium white plus more magenta because I made it too cool. It's very interesting how their hair comes up here on their foreheads. It's very, very, very interesting. It would be really fun to, you know, have access to painting wild animals. It's pretty cool. Or just animals in person. Animals that would sit still for a couple of hours. That's the other problem. Hey, Carol Darlington. Hi, Dinah. Hey, Zada. So if you came in later, I went back to working on the large 12 square abstract painting to do a lion, and the one I worked on yesterday, this is how it turned out. So I'm using that to bring what I learned into dealing with this lion. Oops. I got it. I got paint on the frame, so I have to clean that up. All right, so back to the main. So I've been doing this color, quinacridone pink, plus some magenta. I think it had a little bit of Prussian blue earlier. And I'm just going around and I'm starting to work on the mane. I'm going to leave some of these elements from the abstract painting. Whatever works. I like a lot of these things. So I'm basically superimposing the lion over the abstract painting and painting out certain things. And which is a challenge in itself. So since I like a lot of the things that happen over here, I'm probably going to paint more on this side and then allow those elements to connect. That seems like the way that this is going. And if I paint something out that I wind up missing, then I'll have to wipe it out or paint it back in. Actually, all right, I guess I should finish my thought before I move on to another section. So more of the main. Oh. I kind of like that wild, whatever that, leftover section from the painting before is up there, so I'm going to leave that. I just kind of scraped out because I missed that red after I painted over it. Just kind of trying to clean up around the ears. I'm going to use some French ultramarine blue plus some titanium white. I'm sighing because I'm watching myself mix it up with too much white in it, which cools it off too much. So I've added more blue. Since I know you can't see my palette because this painting is so big that it takes up the palette, but that's why I'm telling you what I'm doing. And so this comes down here. That was a nice color. I'm just so happy that this painting is finally gonna be what it was meant to be. I'm so happy. Because it was a still life, and then it was an abstract, and it seems like it finally became what it's meant to be, but it needed all those layers underneath to have the lion come out. So I'm really excited. I know I want that to be dark because it's like the part that's right under the lion's chin, so it's really in shadow. And I feel like it could use a boost from something. I'm just gonna take full strength French ultramarine, see what that does. It's a bit bright though. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take some full strength Prussian blue, which the color that was originally there was Prussian blue. And now I'm just going in and scraping some of it out with this color shaper. So I like that effect. It seems a little bit flat, so I feel like I should add red to it. But I don't want it to come way forward. I just want it to be different. So let me put some on there and see what happens. Okay, well, okay, so what's happening, if you can see, is that that red allows what was farther back to go farther back. So it did work. Okay. Well, that's good. So I just added some more red in there. All right, back to some other sections of this painting. So I have more alizarin crimson, which is like a ruby red, and I'm adding some French ultramarine to it, which gives you, I don't know, like a really dark purple, black, depending how what your proportions are. Actually, it's not, well, it's more like a dark purple. If you want it to be blackish, you would add a Viridian or the phthalo turquoise. I got a touch of cadmium red medium that I added to that, going back to the lion's lips. And actually, you know what, I'm going to put that in the nostrils too. I'm going to build up that nose a little bit more, so that will change. Okay, I'm going back to the main where I kind of got sidetracked. So I'm going to go back and use magenta. Actually, magenta plus the Prussian blue mix. Where this part where it comes down into the forehead. Same color, I just added a little bit more magenta to it. I wanted it deeper, and I'm going to add a little bit more French ultramarine, because what I'm looking for is to really get like the dark shadow here under the hair. For the, you know, as the hair goes out, it meets the crown around the head, and then it goes out. So actually, I'm going to do that too. Now I have to make decisions in the dark of the ear and the shadow of the ear. I haven't known what I wanted to do there. So that's why I haven't done it. Although I have to do something at this point, so I'm going to go and do, I have cadmium red medium plus magenta. And I know that's too red because it's in shadow. I'm going to do some pressure blue. Make it really dark. The least part. And then I'm going to scrape it out so it isn't so dark. This one, the blues, it doesn't bother me. The other one, I like the color, but it just was kind of evident that it was going to have to change. Although it looks better now that I haven't looked at it for 2 seconds. So there's something to be said for looking away, working somewhere else. All right, let's clean out that brush. Now I'm going to go back with that same dark red that I put in there before. That was cadmium red medium plus alizarin crimson. Right, now I have a bunch of titanium white plus cadmium yellow orange. Lights have such beautiful ears. They're a little bit round and they're a little bit pointy at the same time. And so I'm going to take some of that color to bring back in here to notate, because some of that color happens here. It's a little bit duller. So I'm taking opportunity to accentuate that color for the main. I do still want to leave some of the abstract painting showing though. Maybe I'll eventually paint it all out. I don't know. I just kind of like that it's wild and that this, you know, is wild thing that I'm painting. Even if he does represent Jesus, he's still wild. And I think that's awesome. So that's why I'm going around slowly, because I'm trying to preserve what should be preserved and then get rid of what should be gotten rid of. But that's not always an easy thing to answer. That was that same cadmium yellow orange plus titanium white, and now I added some cadmium red light in. Titanium white plus cadmium yellow light plus a little bit of that cadmium red that I just had, and lighting these ears up. And I use my color shaper blade to apply that like a palette knife would, where you get pure color and it kind of sits on top more rather than blending in, so you get a more pronounced accentuation. I'm going to use that here too. I hope you can see the lion's face. I hope it looks like a lion to you guys. Anyway. It still amazes me that that's what this painting is becoming. Still amazes me. Because I think I painted this, how many years ago? 5 years ago? 4 years ago, probably 5 years ago. And it was good, but it just, now it's becoming. I feel like I'm going to work on the eye a little bit. Just adjusting the color. Let's see, if I want more of a golden color in the eye, I'm actually just going to take this cadmium red and run it over and see if it mixes to give me a gold. It does, although the eye looks a little, it isn't as round as it looked. So let me go back. I'm gonna not look for 10 seconds and then look back, because it's important to either take a break or look away, because if you stare at it too long, you won't be able to see it anymore. Okay, well, it functions much better than I hoped, so thank you, Lord. I'm using cadmium yellow orange plus titanium white. Plus a little bit of cadmium red light. Just lighten that up a little. And this goes a little bit more like that. Oh, I like some of the things going on up there. It helps to look away. It really does. You can see your faults much better, and I should also say your successes. Should be encouraging to myself. Yesterday was so challenging that I got kind of hard on myself afterwards. So I should celebrate my victories today. All right, and take ultramarine plus white. Plus a little more white. Actually, I really like his face. Whether I need to do anything there, or I should leave that, I'm not sure. I don't know if I should do anything here. As in color change or clarity or painting out some things that I have. That probably was good. And take some of that cadmium yellow orange plus quinacridone pink. Do some over He looks so tribal. But I did want him to be fierce and loving at the same time, so hopefully that's what he is. Alright, I have 2 brushes in my hand. Let me put one down. And, okay, I'm going back to the main. So I have titanium white, cadmium yellow light, and adding cadmium yellow orange to that. Just a touch. So it's still pretty light. I like this blue that happens here though. Oh, right. I embellished that ear. This one still needs some work. So let me go back and I guess that's where I didn't realize I was headed. So I'm going to take that color I just used, cadmium yellow, titanium white, cadmium yellow orange, and go back over here. Oops, that brush got a bit messy. More cadmium yellow orange. Plus cadmium red light. I'm gonna clean out some color to make room for fresh color. And it's time for humming, which is good. It means that I am happy and that I am not self-conscious. 2 good things. More paper towels. Hey, Judy Rockhill. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat. So I've got the titanium white, cadmium yellow. I'm adding cadmium yellow orange. Going back to places in the main. Bringing some of those up higher with the color shaper so I can get a thicker application of color. Yep. I don't think that the yellow works there as well. Hey, honey. Titanium white plus. Now. What time is it? All right. So I have more titanium white. What do I want? I think I want more yellow. Titanium white plus cadmium yellow light. That's cadmium yellow orange again. I don't mind that the forehead has darkness and is, you know, all that stuff going on there. Let's see, what do I need to change is the question. That's the question. The question is what still needs to change. What isn't okay as it is. Actually, I like the bluish color there better, so I'm going to change it. Or I can just wipe it out. I'm going to use, oops, this might be too intense. Titanium white plus Savers blue. I'm going to do that again, but with adding more weight into that color. And then back with the more yellowed color. Yellow plus white. Alright, and I feel like I need to work on some red in the mane, so I've got the really bright cadmium red light plus cadmium yellow orange. And let's see. So fiery. I love to use this color. Oops, that's the leg of the bumping into things. Well, just trying to bring some fire in. Okay. Oops. I'm going to be doing more of this. Cadmium red plus cadmium yellow orange on this color shaper, bringing up the mane. Hey, Judy, can you tell me when it's 4 o'clock? I have to be on a Zoom call. Yet another Zoom call. I have no idea. I can't see what time it is now. Let's see. Anybody who's in the Eastern time zone, tell me when it's 4 o'clock, because I have to get off then. This is cadmium red light, cadmium yellow light, cadmium red light, cadmium yellow orange. Oops. That blue that I put that on, it was too slick, it was too wet, so I couldn't get the paint to stay on top. But nevertheless, I go back. Right, so that the last mixture I put on there was a little bit more red. Just a little bit more orange. To bring out the mane. So, I have other pictures there. These are images that I paid for, but my printer only printed the left half of the face, and then I have some partial views, so I'm trying to piece together some of those. Oh, the things that happen. Okay, no problem, Judy. What time is it now, Judy? Just give me an idea of that. I also don't mind that the color's more blue over here. I don't know if I want to go, how orange I want to go over here. Yeah, filling the sugar in a little bit more. Seems like it's wider here. No, actually it's not. Something's different over on this side. It may just be that, you know, after I leave it alone for the day, come back and look at it. I don't know. All right, I never got back to the nose. Okay, so I've got Sever's Blue plus, oops, Sever's Blue. This is not the color I want to finish with, but an interesting shape this is. It's like a shield. And let's see, the nostrils go like this, and like this. Oh, that helped, didn't it? That was an improvement. Thank you, Lord. All right, I'm gonna do quinacridone pink plus alizarin crimson. Just rinsing out my brush. Okay, so I'm going to use, I'm going to use cadmium red medium plus that quinacridone pink to make this a little redder. And I'm going to leave that. I like the way the nose turned out. I'm not going to obsess any further about that. Okay. I feel like things I'm missing are some more definition up on that ear and a little bit more brightness here. I don't necessarily feel like I have to treat this side exactly the same, because it doesn't feel like it needs it. So let me try to address that ear problem. So I've got cadmium yellow orange, plus titanium white, and it's a bit cooler than what I need. I'm going to add some cadmium yellow light into that mix. Hey, sweetie. Hey, honey. All right, he's gone already. More yellow, more orange. So I'm just basically going over anywhere needs brightening for the mane. And probably, I don't know if that's distracting from it looking like a mane. I kind of liked that, but maybe it gets in the way. That's a little bit better. It was that central part that, even though some lions do have one, I didn't want it to become a impediment to it being seen as a lion. Some things are really funny. Some things bother you, some things don't. And then some things, just like one little thing to throw everything off. Boy, I need a new orange. This thing is so stiff. Yikes. I ordered supplies. It seems like I'm ordering supplies every day. I just keep ordering because I keep painting. And I'm like, do I really need to order supplies? Yep. Order more paint. I need more frames. All right, let's finish up this mane. So basically, I'm just trying to, where the paint seems a little scarce, or that I need some accentuation. Like, even if I keep that color, it's still better. There was something about the paint that was underneath wasn't a thick enough application for this painting to make them look like they go together, even though the color was the same. Same with that. So, in that case, it's the same, but it seems a little bright in value for, so I added some red to it. And I think that goes better. And I think also here for the cheeks. And then I'm going to go do this. And this. he looks pretty fierce, right? Yeah. All right, so more titanium white plus cadmium yellow orange. Again, building up the mane. More paper towels. Plus I added yellow. Okay, let me step back. Let me look away. Look away. Oh, it looks really great in your view. Wow. Okay. Looks really great in your view. Okay, do I want anything else? That's a good question. I'm not sure if I should mess with the nose yet. I probably am going to wait. It's probably fine how it is. Except I will pull down this purple a little bit more. Alright, I guess I'll just put a little bit more yellow on the mane. And then I'll stop so I can not overwork it. Take a look at it later. Alright, so this is just cadmium yellow light that I'm piling on here. Some more quinacridone pink plus white. There's a lot less struggle in this line than there was in yesterday's line. So that's good. 350, thanks Judy. I probably should, stop because I need to take look away for a while and then come back and look at it later. So, but thank you for keeping me on track because you know me, I don't stop when I say I'm going to stop. I really don't because it's too hard to stop painting. Too hard. Okay. And I'm going to put, that orange was nice, but it wasn't quite what I wanted there. So I added some yellow to it. Now I'm going to add some red to it. Push it back. That's better. And I'm just extending because the mane goes all the way around. So I'm just kind of bringing some of these reds down here so that the viewer's eye keeps, the viewer's brain continues the mane for me. And so I'm also going to put some of those reds down here. Okay. All right. That's where I'm going to stop for today. It might be done. I'm going to let it sit and look at it probably tomorrow morning to make sure I have enough looking away and being able to get a fresh view of it. So thank you. Anybody have any questions or requests for tomorrow? Let me know. Type them in the chat box, and I'll check them out and I'll answer. And I'm so grateful for you. I pray for you all today. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, no matter what you're facing. I pray for your safety, your wellness, your provision for you and your family, and for the whole world. So thank you. Love you guys. Thanks, Judy, for the time. Oh, Ani. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yesterday's was, the study to do this one. So, it's like this. Basically. If you can see that one. I don't know if you can see the top one. So, anyway. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, everybody. I love you too. I love all you guys. Love you, Annie. Or Annie. You like Annie, but I love you, Annie. So thank you. I'm very honored and grateful. So I will see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Yes, it is the Lion of Judah, and I never understood why I used 12 blocks. This is the 12 tribes of Israel. I didn't realize that until today, that was why it was a different painting with 12 blocks, and I was kind of unsure why I used 12 blocks, and it made sense when I started to paint him. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So, anyway. All right. Bye. Yes, you're Lion of Judah. Love you guys.